welcome to the Garage Guys Race Preview Show, the Garage Guys NASCAR Race Preview Show, presented by Hooters. We're going to be talking about Michigan, redneck capital of the North. On this show, we're going to be talking about the FireKeepers Casino 400. Shout out to those firekeepers that be keeping it fire at the casinos. I'm joined as always by Dale Tanhardt, greatest NASCAR bettor in the universe, also host of Dale Center, which we have the Dale Center behind us. I got to, before we get into everything, I got to see a little promo video you put out yesterday, rolling up in a golf cart. You were really channeling your Ricky Bobby there. Like Dale Center was Fig Newton's.
I sold it. Yeah. Dale Center bought the sponsorship for the window, window glass. Luckily on the golf cart, you can kind of see through it. And that poster is like, it's not this one behind me. The one that was on the golf cart is a lot thinner. So I could drive down the road and actually see decently, believe it or not. But yeah, Dale Center, if you're not aware of it, got to tune in. I think I'm going to roll with every Thursday evening. That way Indycar can take their sweet time on getting odds up. This week, Indycar actually got odds up on DraftKings.
Yeah, you did that.
Wednesday night or Thursday morning for the first time this year, other than the Indy 500. So I am proud of them for getting odds up on the board. They've got top threes there right now, which is really good too. I think we're actually about to get practice out here in Nashville, which is where I am at right now, Dale Center on the road. So check that out on YouTube. I've got some IndyCar bets, IndyCar talk, along with the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series, especially. Had multiple plays in the Xfinity Series that I like that I talked about. So you can see that in, I guess, you can find it in the description or just on this channel playlist. You'll see it. But this episode is all about the Firekeeper. I fucked that name up like 4 times yesterday. Flyers, the Firekeeper. Firekeeper. Keeper of flyers, keeper of flies, fire keepers, keeper flies.
You're trying. You know what name is not hard to pronounce though? It's Hooters. And shout out to Hooters right now. If you get over to Hooters online or in the real world and use promo code Garage Guys, you're going to be able to save $10 on any $30 order for to-go orders. So that's Captain Carryout's mantra. You tell them I sent you over there. Actually, don't tell them because it's digital. You go to order.hooters.com or you just download the Hooters app, put in Garage Guys. You're going to be able to save that $10 off any $30 order. It's valid at participating locations for delivery and carryout orders only. It's good to eat Hooters to go. I do it a lot. I'm a busy man. I'm always on the road. I'm always in my car. You can ask Dale about it. Dale's a little more laid back. He's a little more chill. He likes to walk in places, sit down, have him a good time. And that's why he's dining Dale. And he's about to tell you why you should tell him that he sent you.
Yeah, Firekeeper, blah, 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 blah. Might be kind of hard to say, but we have mastered our promo plug. And right now, you go to Hooters and tell them Dine and Dale sent you. $10 off any dine-in order, $40 or more, courtesy of promo code Garage Guys. All you have to do is just tell your Hooters waitress about promo code Garage Guys, and you get $10 off any dine-in order, $40 or more, valid for food, non-alcoholic beverages, and merchandise. Offer is redeemable at HOA locations. You know we love Hooters. Hooters loves us, and Hooters loves you, and Hooters makes you happy. And so does Garage Guys. Hopefully, if we nail some bets, we make you happy.
No,
we have a lot in common.
We make them happy. If we didn't make them happy, they're probably not watching this. They have no idea who we are, so it doesn't even matter. They're just living their miserable existence, not betting on motorsports. So, congrats. Keep that up. Make sure to clip that and send that to everyone you know that does not like racing. And then just
blah, 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 400.
That's right. You tell them. So, yeah, definitely going to be talking all about NASCAR. I do want to ask, though, I did get 2 IndyCar bets locked in already as they dropped on DraftKings. Went ahead and took Herta at plus 700, and I had to get the Scott Dixon at plus 1,000. I thought those 2 were just immaculate. Are we lined up? I didn't get to catch Dale Center. Are we lined up on anything?
I'm definitely on Herta. No question about it. I am on Colton Herta. I'm not on Scott Dixon. Kind of inconsistent on road courses. Toronto is especially good for him because we hadn't gone there in 2 years and love the experience when you have a field of young drivers that really hadn't had much track time at Toronto. Scott Dixon had so much track time there. So to me is more of an anomaly on the road courses. I'm not riding with him this weekend at the moment. We'll see what practice and qualifying brings, but Colton Herta was so good here last year, gave the race away, and had some bad luck along the way too, because this track is so narrow and difficult. It is so hard to pass. And that caused a good bit of carnage throughout the entire race. I think 9 cars DNF'd and more had damage. I mean, it was an absolute shit show. And those wrecks just fucked up the fuel cycle, the pit stop cycle, made Colton Herta lose his track position. He tried to gain it back, tried to get the lead back from eventual winner Marcus Ericsson, and crashed trying too hard.
He wrecked that race.
Ericsson went airborne in that race, and somehow that is still the craziest thing I've ever seen, I think, in IndyCar. I mean, race. How does an important part like a suspension part not break? If you go look at that replay, it's unbelievable that they were fix that wing and he was good again. Which you get a wing broken, you can fix that, right? But the fact that he went airborne, came back down, landed on the wheels, and had no other part failures is beyond unbelievable. So that's what the Music City Grand Prix brought in its first year. So the follow-up should be almost as interesting, but Colton Herta for sure. And I missed out on the plus 700, but I got plus 650 and plus 160 for a top 3 finish as well.
All right. So you probably can't see it that well, and that's okay if you
But here's what sucks is these aren't even going to matter because practice is about to start based on what time we're recording. And these odds might be totally different by the time you watch this preview show. So
that's right. Unfortunately, that's why you should follow us on Twitter. That's where
watch Dale Center.
And watch Dale Center. Yeah. If you would have followed me on Twitter, you could have got Herta at plus 700. I tweeted about it from the International Chase Station of IndyCar.
There you go. Just got to hit us on all platforms. You're not allowed to bitch if these lines move around a lot.
That's right. Yeah, we get a lot of that. Like, no more. I don't want to hear no crying. Everybody doesn't cry in the Discord anymore, and I love that because we got a bunch of winners in that Discord. Shout out to everybody
winners
in
only.
Free Discord. So, all right. Well, I guess that's enough. Just had to mention that. We do like us some IndyCar. Let's talk about NASCAR now. So to start the week off, obviously,
fire blah 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 400.
The Fluba 4,
Fluba blah blah blah.
Fluba 4. That's what we're calling it now.
Fluba 4 Casino.
The Fluba Forecast. Fluba Forecast.
I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. Even starting off today, I even thought about. I was like, that should not be hard to say. FireKeepers Casino.
Yeah.
Why is it so fucking hard?
It shouldn't be hard.
I've lost too many brain cells.
Yeah, you've been hanging around me too much, man. I like to smoke my grass here and there, so that usually happens when you get the second hand.
That's a good point. Yeah,
it's all good though. It's all good though. We do it in legal states. Shout out to legal states. So yeah, let's talk. I wanted to go ahead and just kind of open up a little bit, just highlighting an article that's over on GarageGuysFantasySports.com with Greg Mathern. Each week, Greg is putting out some killer early analysis. He's got all the bets, the odds that are early that are coming out before anything. He's kind of becoming like a low-key fortune teller here over at GarageGuysFantasySports.com. That's why we love him. Me as a NASCAR wizard, Dale is a NASCAR god, and maybe Greg could be a NASCAR sorcerer. Maybe we could go into that realm.
I agree.
Kind of evil, get in Vegas early. Punch him in the balls a little bit.
I was wondering what we could go. Maybe a Titan. Greg could be a Titan. How about that?
Yeah,
NASCAR Titan. Love that. Yeah,
he's
plus 91 units on Cup Bets in 2022. So that's super impressive considering how tough it has been to handicap the Cup Series this year. So he has to deserve all the shout outs in the world. And like you said, article on GarageGuysFantasySports.com is live. He's got some pretty spicy bets up there. He's got a couple spicy ones.
We got to talk about the first one that's spicy.
Might be long shot city this weekend. So
it is most definitely long shot city. I love his featured image was a picture of Bubba Wallace's number 23 root car. Shout out.
Wish I picked that out.
Yeah,
and I didn't even think about Facebook, but I'm glad it worked out that way. I know where you're going.
Yeah, well, definitely got to talk about Don over on Facebook. Don, big Bubba Wallace guy, loves him.
big smart guy in the smart guy community.
He's got something to say every time a picture of Bubba Wallace comes. He never clicks the article, never reads it, just likes to talk that shit. There was something though, like when we're going aside from, just all the low-key racist Facebook people with Bubba Wallace. One of our guys on Twitter actually tweeted at me, and I guess he was kind of confused that, I leave things kind of open-ended most of the time, but Ron Innes at Proles Speed, he said, "Oh, it's the 23rd race of the season. It took me a minute to get it." And I was like, damn,
I saw that. Yeah, that's not why I picked the thumbnail or Pearl or whatever his name was. But
we'll call him Ron Innes. I think his name had something like Adderall in it, like last week. He's a cool guy. I've been following him on Twitter for a while now.
If you see a thumbnail of a car, there's a good chance that the person who wrote the article will be talking about the driver of that car.
Yeah, let's just let that be.
I don't know how that doesn't sink in. And this isn't any offense to that guy. No offense to that guy at all. But like the people that are like angry about Bubba being on there, like, do you just not understand? Like, we're talking about picks. We're talking about driver picks. Like, if Bubba's in the article, he might be the thumbnail. If Kyle Larson's in the article, he might be the thumbnail. Do these people not understand how this shit works?
Yeah,
I'm glad it worked out that way. It's fucking hilarious, but
it is.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. But let's actually talk about the article. So in there were a couple of bets, and I think that one of his bets, obviously with Bubba, he had Bubba at plus 4,000 over on Caesars. Shout out to Caesars. That's some long ass odds, and the reason being was just because looking at his statistics on the IndyCar course. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour this in here while we're talking about a Caesars bet. Got my chalice. Shout out to that one dude in Indy.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Yeah, it's all right. You'll be all right. So yeah, talking about that bet, I do like that bet. I didn't get those odds. I don't even know if those odds still exist for Bubba. I would hope that they did, but Caesars has really been good lately about making sure that they pick up on that shit. And they're like, all right, well, we need to change this. So I can imagine that it's been hammered. Yeah, it's at plus 3,000 now. So I'm going to go ahead and ride that wave with Greg. I'm locking that bet in as we speak. Plus 3,000 Bubba Wallace to win. That's going to be my long shot win bet of the week, not win bet the company, to win bet for me on Caesars. So cheers. That's my first bet. And I'm sure you have a little something you'd like to say about old Darrell Wallace.
Well, 23XI is definitely in consideration. Obviously, Kurt Busch is, well, I don't want to say obviously because some people just, may not know the news, but Kurt Busch will not be back in the 45 this weekend, still dealing with concussion-like symptoms. Seen this story before with somebody in their 40s who struggled with concussion symptoms. He turned out to miss the entire second half of the season, and that was Dale Jr. I predicted that this could happen with Kurt Busch, even though I don't want it to, but it's a tough deal, and I don't know what that feeling is like, especially when you're older and in the end of your career, and you're dealing with these head injuries. So I hope Kurt gets better, and I know he's working hard to get better. He's posting some of his treatment stuff on Twitter, and it's pretty insightful. But talking about XI, they've had tremendous speed, higher speed racetracks. You look at Kansas, you look at Charlotte. They were very good at both of those racetracks. Bubba Wallace was really fast, and Kurt Busch. He did win at Kansas. Kurt and Bubba Wallace had top 5 speed there too. And if you look at these higher speed racetracks, I think that is going to be your biggest sample to correlate to what we could see at Michigan. Now, there's a lot of uncertainty at Michigan this weekend because we have a new tire code. They had a disastrous test session in June where Joey Logano wrecked early. There's a threat we could see tire problems. Brad Keselowski had an interview with Bob Pockrass this morning, or maybe it was just a NASCAR media, just a regular NASCAR media interview with a bunch of journalists. He talked about how he was worried that it could be essentially a shit show. And the tire code is definitely something notable when it comes to that idea of the race being a complete madhouse. So I'm definitely keeping that in mind. I'm definitely keeping bets light before we get into Sunday, before we get into practice, before we get into qualifying, because it feels like there's a lot of uncertainty ahead. But when you look at overall speed, 23XI has improved so much in the second half of the season compared to the first half. Obviously, you talk about Bubba Wallace getting a top 5 on a road course, something that many people thought was not even possible. Now, I know a lot of things had to go his way, but that adds to the momentum of 3 consecutive top 10 finishes for Bubba Wallace. So I think that's not a bad play. I'm not on it at the moment, but I'm going to stick with Caesars Sportsbook after that long spill, trying to give you some good information. I'm sticking with Caesars. This line has moved, and I'll tell you where it's the best at right now at this moment. But I got Austin Dillon plus 7,500 to win. Austin Dillon has had a decent season, which he's trending much better than he did in 2021, by the way, because RCR has been over the season. You know, AD's got to be pressure because Tyler Reddick has performed, gotten 2 wins, and has been fast just about everywhere. Austin Dillon has had that similar speed as well. He has 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s on the season. And one stat that I like that I think that's underrated here, in 22 races, 12 times he's finished inside the top 15, which tells me he's hanging around in the majority of these races. Whether he's had a bad race throughout, picks it up at the end, or whether it's like Martinsville, where he was super fast, or Fontana, where he had really good speed. Austin Dillon's been able to hang around in the end of these races most of the time. And a lot of the DNFs and the crashes you've seen are, I guess, and the bad finishes you've seen, many have been from random crashes. Got wrecked on the last lap at Phoenix. Last week at the Indy Grand Prix got wrecked. Bristol Dirt got wrecked. So you eliminate those. In races where Austin Dillon has finished, he's finished particularly well. So I think 7,500 for a guy that's in desperation mode to get the playoffs. And right now, that line is plus 6,600 on BetMGM. I think he should be around plus 5,000. So I think he has some value. Just put a sprinkle on it. You're not going to lose a lot. Just put a little sprinkle on it. And if he wins, maybe we get a crazy race. Maybe we get fuel mileage. And we know Austin Dillon and his team will gamble. We saw him win the 600 a few years ago from fuel mileage. At Texas, due to pitch strategy in 2020, we know that team will get aggressive when it matters. And additional bet on BetMGM plus 800 for a top 5. Absolutely love this bet. Love this bet for all the reasons I just stated. Hangs around at the end, avoids the chaos, has good speed in the race car, which we've seen from RCR at similar speed racetracks. Austin Dillon can for sure get a top 5 finish.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all, especially because of the swag that Paul Swan possesses. Shout out to Paul. Great guy. You can catch him on that television show on that channel that he does with Austin Dillon. So
the life in the fast lane.
Yeah, Brad K hates that show. Can't stand it. He just absolutely hates it.
Brad wants to be the star.
Yeah, he needs to be the star. Brad needs his own show. Him and Elon Musk working together at SpaceX. That is what I'm rooting for by 2025. I want to see Brad K go to space with other IndyCar drivers. So the only NASCAR driver to go to space. IndyCar drivers, they go to space every weekend. NASCAR drivers, it's time to put them in space. It's time.
The chase station, the space chase station.
International Chase Station.
There you go.
It. I had to find. Look, fortunately, my mom was thoughtful enough to make my name rhyme with space. So shout out to her. She gave birth to me.
It worked out well, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Shout out to your parents. You get Dale Center.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dale, you can put with anything, right?
Hell's Dale.
So easy.
Yeah, right there with Chris Bell.
Yeah, Hell's Bell. Hell's Bell is better, but yeah, Dale, it rhymes with so many things. It can work. So
that's it. We love it. A Dale of hay, Cheers. So yeah, we continue on. I don't mind those bets at all. Austin Dillon, he's got to, right? He's got to have some time. The time's got to come for him. This is a great track for it. I'm going to go ahead and talk about, I'm taking an early one that's probably not going to be very lucrative. I've already seen a lot of people talking about, how they just can't keep doing this. They can't keep rolling with this guy. And, I'm a little bit different with it. I'm like, you know what? I'm here for it. And I think that it's almost time for him to be able to get it done. And the odds may be longer after practice and qualifying, but I doubt it. I am betting on Kyle Larson to win this race for the first time in a while.
Wow.
Plus 700 on BetMGM.
Ooh, you missed the value. You missed the value because I swear we never talk about our bets ahead of these shows. We do that intentionally because sometimes we align. I bet Kyle Larson last night, Barstool Sportsbook at plus 750, which a little bit better, not a big difference, but that's where the best value is at this moment. I'm gonna check the app right now, make sure we still have that line. It could have moved.
That's good because I haven't locked it in yet. I'm betting with you guys live right now. I've been busy at home. So if we have, I'm looking over here, I'm using the Action app. And by the way, if you don't have the Action app, you need to get over to, a link probably in the description of this video. You'll find my bets and Dale's bets. You need to click that, make an account. It's free like the Discord. And that's where you're going to be able to track all of our NASCAR Cup Series bets. So yeah, I'm using the Action app right now as we speak. What you got? Who you got there? Oh, we got a little Kyle. Got a little Kyle. Look, Kyle. Look at him. Look at him, boy. Got that little Kyle straight from CVS, dog.
Yeah, Walgreens. But looking at Kyle Larson, 2022 has definitely been like pre-Hendrick Kyle Larson, right? Like last year, they were so fast every single race, won 10 races. Obviously, we're not going to see that this year. But when you look at his all of 2022, his best finishes have been at higher speed racetracks. He won at Auto Club. Should have won at Charlotte, but Chase Briscoe went full send and brought a caution out with 2 laps to go. Understandable. Pit strategy fucks that race up. Denny Hamlin wins. Kyle Larson led 50 laps in that one. Still got a top 10. Really good at Las Vegas, finished second. Lost the lead to Kurt Busch with like 5 laps to go at Kansas, finished second or third. I think he finished second. When you look at high-speed racetracks, Kyle Larson has still been there. He's been in contention. This is a good time to take him because before he was at Hendrick Motorsports, his best 2 tracks statistically were Fontana and Michigan. He would win at those 2 tracks all the time. Specifically, Michigan won 3 races in a row here and has 6 top 3 finishes in his last 9 attempts at Michigan. I don't care about the aero package being different. I know I tell people kind of be a little hesitant when overusing past history at a racetrack because 2022 has been so different. But when there has been a lot of uncertainties, you can look at the data here with Kyle Larson and see that at tracks he's historically been really good at, he has performed the best at in 2022 relative to, I don't know, look at like Gateway or some of these road courses he's struggled at. Before he was with Hendrick, he really didn't do a whole lot on road courses, right? And we've seen the struggles on road. We've seen even some struggles on the shorter tracks, but we have not seen the struggles on the 1.5 miles and the higher speed racetracks, higher speed, non-drafting racetracks. That's where Kyle Larson has been the best at, and specifically Michigan. So Give me Kyle Larson at plus 750. I think it's good value. He could come out here and qualify on the pole and be down to 400 or 500, 4-1 or 5-1. So I think it's a good time to pick him.
Yeah, it's never too late. And right now, like I said, if you get over to BetMGM, DraftKings, those are the 2 books right now that have them at plus 700. So you can ride them at the plus 700 line with me if you missed Dale Center last night. And you
said you hadn't bet it. Why would Barstool still has them at 750? So you might as well go there.
Barstool has them, from what I've seen, Barstool has them at plus 650 now.
That's for the poll. Yeah. We make mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
And it is, they do have, they have the pole qualifying listed above everything else. Scroll to the bottom and then you'll see the race odds.
Here we go. Plus 750. Well, plus 750.
Yeah. Fuck all that BetMGM noise. Yeah.
Well, I've already done it. So I missed the action. I missed the extra action. So that's okay. That's what happens sometimes when you're not on full alert. So I have him at plus 700. So we'll see what happens. There's Kyle. And, by the way, too, they compare this track. You may have said this while I was using the whiteboard back here, but, they compare this track to Auto Club a lot. Who won Auto Club earlier this year? Who won? That's him.
Which, by the way, I have to say that Auto Club is well, here's the thing. It's pretty different from Michigan when you look at the track surface. Like Auto Club is so bumpy and so much more worn down than Michigan that I'm not saying Auto Club is a perfect comparison because it's
the
not.
Speed though. It's the horsepower that you're able to pack. It's the speed that's at the track.
And that's why, we talk about 23XI and Trackhouse, right? Which I'm about to talk about Trackhouse in a second, but it seems like those teams have had really strong speed at higher speed, similar speed racetracks. So that's kind of the direction I feel like you should lean if you like anything early before practice and qualifying, are the guys that have run well on higher speed racetracks. And Kyle Larson has been one of those guys. One I missed on there was Pocono. He got a top 5. So definitely consider Kyle Larson, some action on Kyle Larson before we get some track time.
That's right. Yeah. I put, you can go check the unit counts over on Action app, but yeah, unfortunately I thought that the qualifying was going to be the one, but it wasn't on Barstool. So I always love betting on Barstool. If you can bet anything on Barstool, bet it on Barstool Sportsbook. It's a great sportsbook.
And BetMGM, by the way, I love BetMGM too, but yeah, we got to chase the value. You know
what? We love every sports book because we're not sponsored by a sports book as of right now. Okay, so we love them all. Okay, we'll talk about all of them. If you're a sports book and you're watching this show, and you're like, man, these guys are fucking good. I feel like if I was a sports book, I would have already sponsored us. It would have been over. It would have been done by now. Luckily, Prize Picks, it's the DFS way to play with the props. They were smart enough to sponsor us. So shout out to them. They knew what was up. Sports books, get your shit together. But if we're going to go talk about some Barstool real quick, I was able to grab a top 10 earlier in the week. Actually, let's see. The top 10 bet. I don't know if I had any Barstool action, man. This is terrible. But I was able to grab a top 10 on DraftKings. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, this was on FanDuel. Sorry, this was on FanDuel. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. for a top 10 at plus 370. I got that early in the week. The reason I'm taking this bet is because it has been a minute since we've seen Ricky get on that top 10 train. He was doing really well earlier in the season. Couple weeks went by, not that great. I think the flat tracks are a little bit more of his weakness. Now, Michigan, if I'm not mistaken, Michigan is definitely considered somewhat of a flatter track. Is that correct? It looked pretty flat when we were there in Brooklyn. So here's the deal. This track is longer. This track is fast. When it comes to speed, Ricky Stenhouse knows all about it. He's sponsored by a drink that makes you go extra fast. It's called NOS. I just feel like he's going to be able to find a way to push this through. And I have a pretty decent amount of coin on him to make this one come true. But at plus 370, I had to take a stab at it. I don't know if those odds still exist, but we can find out as we speak.
Best line you'll find right now is DraftKings still has plus 350. FanDuel has moved him down to plus 280, probably because of the Garage Guy Chase, locking that bet in. And Ricky's been one of those guys at some higher speed racetracks has been a top 15 race car. So I definitely think it's achievable, and it's a good line, even at plus 350 when you consider who he's next to on that line, which look, I'm going to pull it back up.
It's like he can't get away from Chris Buescher at all. Like it's like they swap cars, and then he just hangs around him.
And yeah, he's with Buescher, Brad Keselowski, who hasn't been a top 10 car much at all this year. Austin Hill in his first start. Eric Almirola has really struggled. So when you look at that, Ricky is definitely in the higher tier in my book on that plus 350 line. I do want to see what Barstool has actually that has sparked my interest because sometimes Barstool has really good lines there.
First, and they didn't have Barstool did not have the top 10 odds up when I went and looked on there. I want to say that was on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I know they're up now. Let's see. Ricky for a top 10 on Barstool, 300. So there you go. DraftKings is the best value at this moment from what I've seen. So
yep. So there it is. You go.
I like that bet. I think another one, like when Charlotte was a show, Ricky was there running up in the top 15 the whole race and was able to survive to the chaos there. So I think you consider something like that. If we're due for a shit show, like some of these drivers might think, look back at Charlotte and look at how that race went. I think you could maybe see a comparison there. But there's so much data out there that just a lot of uncertainties. This is gonna be a tough one. That's why I only have 3, maybe 4 bets I'm putting before practice and qualifying. But that takes me to my next bet, and it's my favorite bet of the weekend on the Cup side, and that's Daniel Suarez for a top 10 at plus 120. I'll let you know if this line is still available, but when I got it via Barstool Sportsbook, comparing it to other books, all other books had Daniel Suarez minus odds for a top 10. Barstool still had plus odds, plus 120 is what I grabbed them at. I've had it logged on the Action Network for a few days now. And the same thing we talked about. We talked about it with 23XI, talked about it with Kyle Larson, guys that have been consistently at high-speed racetracks. Daniel Suarez is absolutely one of those guys. Las Vegas is sort of an anomaly because he got wrecked so early in that race. We didn't really get to see what kind of speed he had. He qualified poorly, got himself in a bad situation, and crashed. He had the best car at Charlotte. He had a top 5 car at Kansas, had a flat tire, ruined his race. He was really fast at Pocono, got a top 5 there. And Auto Club, he had a top 5 there as well and lost the lead with 2 laps to go. I just cannot believe this guy with the speed in the race car and the kind of year he's had and the kind of momentum he has right now. Well, I think 5 top 10s in his last 7 races. Yeah. And last week he was running the top 10 on the final lap and got involved in all that carnage that we saw, which was a shit show, obviously, at the Indy road course. But
that's why we love
look at all the data.
Though. That's why we love it. Because
it's exciting. Fun. It's exciting, but it killed many of my bets, just those late starts.
You know what? That's the way it goes sometimes at Indy. You know what else was killed at Indianapolis?
Red Dogs, bricks.
Ty Dillon's car. It got
that's
murdered. Yeah, because Kyle Larson turned in
by this guy
a drug dog.
Murder. Yeah,
he was a drug dog.
Murdered the car.
Yeah.
Daniel Suarez is now minus 106 on Barstool Sportsbook. Still good value when you look at everybody else has them at minus 110, minus 120, but the plus odds are gone. And thanks to me. And Greg Mathern, I think, has a Daniel Suarez bet too. But I think Greg went outright on Suarez, which I have been really close to pulling the trigger on because of the speed he's had. And Trackhouse is just one of those teams that has had speed at every single one of these high-speed racetracks, whether it's him or Ross or both of them. They've been in the mix. They've been in contention. Their race cars are just better. Their race cars are just better than everybody else right now. When you look at overall consistency, we've seen absolute duds out of Joe Gibbs. We've seen a couple duds out of Hendrick Motorsport. Of course, everybody else. I mean, what are we talking about? Roush? What are we? Stuart Haas. 23XI has had duds too. Trackhouse, I just cannot think of a race where both cars were terrible. And drafting racetracks don't count, right? Because wrecks and everything, anybody can win those. And Ross Chastain still won one of them at Talladega. So when you look at Trackhouse, you look at the consistency of Daniel Suarez. Ever since he got that win at Sonoma, he has been a different driver. He has been a consistent top 10 guy, a consistent contender when it comes to strong runs, strong finishes, and not just the high-speed racetracks. He's done this at a variety of racetracks, whether it's road courses, short tracks. He's figured it out as a NASCAR Cup Series driver. For plus odds for top 10 for a legitimate championship contender is crazy to me.
Yeah, he along with some of the other guys have really unleashed their full potential after crossing that that finish line in first place. So it's always good to see more of that in the world today, and in NASCAR in general. So shout out to that. I do want to, I guess I have another top 10 bet that we'll talk about. It'll be my last bet to speak on this show. And I felt sick to my stomach. You didn't feel that way so much. You were just like, oh, well, when you look at the consistencies, the statistics, the Excel spreadsheets, I don't give a shit. I think that it's a slap in the face that Kevin Harvick was valued at minus 110 for a top 10 at Michigan International Speedway. This is a track that K-Harv has been able to find a way. This is a track that K-Harv has made his bitch over the years to put it out there, just point blank period. So I went ahead and locked that one in early as well. I locked that one in with the Ricky Stenhouse Jr. plus 370. I never take negative odds bets, especially early in the week. Hardly ever. The only time you'll ever see me take a negative odds bet maybe is a matchup, but I still try to stay away from them. This is one I couldn't ignore. And I'll go ahead and let you know right now, I've got 2.5 units on this bet. Straight up, that's how much I believe in it. I've created 8 talismans. So if you're familiar with the wizard world, I have a talisman. That talisman is an object that I believe will make Kevin Harvick get a top 10. And we're testing the theory out this week. So I have these talismans. And if you want to do it, you can make one. We'll do hashtag Harvick talisman. Just find any random object in your house that looks kind of mystical and just literally keep it in your pocket. It has to be pocket sized. And I want you to walk around the rest of the weekend, and that little object that you give the power to is going to create the top 10 for Kevin Harvick. So hold on to that. I have mine, and send me pictures of yours on Twitter at Garage Guy Chase, hashtag Harvick talisman. And you're just going to believe that object is going to make it reality. It doesn't matter if Kevin believes in himself. The car will pick itself up and fly. I believe in it. I never bet negative odds bets on serious shit though. And I am all in on this fucking bet. So it's just proofs in the pudding for me. I don't care about what we've seen the years before. He's got to get it sometime. And so if he's not going to get a win, he'll definitely find a way to get a top 10 here.
Yeah, I mean, the data says it's possible and maybe even probable too, because Michigan's been a great track for him over the years. And when you look at 2022 specifically, he's been right around on average a top 10 car at higher speed racetracks. He got a top 3 at Charlotte when he just survived, right? He survived that race, got a top 3, struggled at Kansas, was decent at Vegas and Fontana. So, I mean, I don't hate the idea. Like, I think Kevin Harvick could easily get a top 10, right? But with all the uncertainties heading into this weekend, I wouldn't touch any kind of minus odds top 10. And I wouldn't even touch a matchup at this point because we just don't know. I have this feeling that the tires are going to be hand grenades again. So that has made me stay away from any minus odds bets at all.
Who has had the less amount of tire issues this season? Who have we seen that just went down at random times? And I know you can come out and say, well, it's random. It's at random. You never know.
Well, Kyle Busch, especially. I mean, a little back, Kyle Busch.
Don't bet that guy.
I feel like Christopher Bell has had several.
Toyotas.
Daniel Suarez has had some. William Byron.
To drive a Toyota. William Byron. Okay, that's Chevy.
It's pretty like it is random. It is so random, and apparently it's based on which team wants to be more aggressive in their setup and in their air pressures. But if you want to relate that to Kevin Harvick, I can't think he had a brake failure at Gateway. Okay. I think it had a rotor come apart. And other than that, maybe once or twice. I'm really not sure exactly.
It's
Kevin's
because
just kind of hung in there.
Barely happens because Rodney Childers knows his shit. He talks to God, and I believe that. He talks to God in the pit box every way. He like if he had Jeff Tell Mobile, he'd call up God. He'd say, "Hey, in 2020, he used to call God in the pit box, and he would just win randomly." It was beautiful times.
Maybe that's what it is. Rodney's won like 4 races here with Kevin over the past like six attempts. So I mean, Michigan's a great track for him. I would be more inclined to bet him for a top 5 or a top 3, maybe even to win. I'm sure that's at like plus 3,000 or 2,500 somewhere.
Yeah, bet that too. But just
I'm not going to bet a minus odds top 10 on anybody, no one. And that's just what my philosophy right now.
I've never done it before in my life. I just feel like this one was too good to pass up.
Could be.
Like it was too good.
Let me give you something. I did the same thing at Dover where he had like 11 top 10s in a row at Dover and he like didn't get one.
Yeah, you didn't have a talisman. That's why. You didn't have magic. You don't believe
me. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just not magical. I'm too good. I'm too good to have fucking magic.
You're too practical. Yeah, you're hanging out with the goody.
I used it at Dover though. I definitely could have used it over. I actually want to look at this. Hold on, I'm pulling this up. Okay, I had him for a top 5 because he had like 8 top 10s or top 5s in a row at Dover and he finished 9th. So I guess
should have a top 10, dog.
Wait, hold on. I'm counting right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He had 8 top 10s in a row at Dover and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of those were top 5s, and he didn't even sniff the top 5. It was fucking so frustrating.
I don't like top 5 bets. I get my ass handed to me on top 5s.
Dude, me too. And I've had the worst luck. Like Chastain for top 5 last weekend was the worst beat ever because all he had to do was just turn right and make the corner, and he probably would have had a top 5. Instead, he just penalizes himself, takes himself out of the race, and almost wrecks Tyler Reddick too. That would have just been
I would have fought
nightmare.
I would have gotten kicked out of Indianapolis. I would have
his crew would have killed him.
Probably.
Reddick's pit crew there and murdered him for sure.
Dude, they were getting feisty.
We're just happy it didn't happen.
Yeah, they were getting feisty with because of Austin when he went in the gravel. They were just like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
Which it wasn't Austin's fault, but it's like, damn, we bring another caution out.
It's like your own team.
It is what it is, and hopefully we don't see that much chaos this weekend. But this guy, you keep an eye on this guy right here.
That's the one.
You watch out. Top 5 at the minimum. But I'm not betting top 5 because we hate top 5 bets.
Yeah, top 5s are canceled on this show. We've canceled. It's, cancel culture is actually dying out a little bit, I think. I've been seeing it die some.
Let's bring it back. We're bringing cancel culture back.
We're bringing cancel culture back for top 5s. Yes.
Just top 5s. Bully top 5s into the ground.
I love it. All right. Do you have any other bets that you want to discuss or talk about?
That's it. I've been so bad at pole qualifying bets. I just don't want to talk about them right now. Been like every week I do a qualifying, my guy qualifies second. And I'm sick of it. I'm just going to cut my losses on qualifying for a little while. But some other lanes, like we talked about, I think if you wanted to get frisky and bet on some guys to win the race that are like high odds, because I think it's possible. Obviously, I talked about Austin Dillon. We talked about Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez, maybe Eric Jones too. Eric Jones has been a guy that's had good speed on high speed racetracks. So Eric Jones, I think, is a formidable option if you want a big underdog to win.
Also a Michigan boy. He's from Michigan.
Yeah, has actually struggled here too. He's kind of
hometown curse
a little bit. Man. Yeah, but he's had some good speed on similar speed racetracks. So I think Eric Jones is a solid underdog to go with the ones we already talked about. But that's it for me, man. I'm about to go to Nashville. I'm about to go downtown and dick around a little bit, have some fun ahead of the weekend. It's IndyCar time. Dale car.
So there was one more thing I wanted to do. Obviously, I'm wearing the Prize Picks shirt. Prize Picks is one of our sponsors. Shout out to them. Use promo code Garage Guys. You're going to get a 100% deposit match when you use that promo code over on the app. I want to go ahead and just give out a lock, a Prize Pick lock. Only one. If this thing fails, you can send spoiled milk and crushed eggs to my house. I'll give you my address. It's up to you whether you want to trust that it's my actual address or not. So the lock for this week, you were talking about Eric Jones. We've seen Eric Jones struggle at this track. However, this new car seems like he likes it. Seems like he kind of likes this new car. I want to go ahead and just say over 28.5 NASCAR points on Prize Picks for Eric Jones this week. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw that one out there. That will be in my my 4-banger that I put out over the weekend, my flex play that I normally do. I got to get back to making a video for that. But that is a lock. That is my Prize Picks lock. You put that in any of your flex plays, power plays. That's the one. Over 28.5 NASCAR points on Prize Picks. Eric Jones, hometown boy, going to find something to do. And obviously there'll be some bets come along with that probably over the weekend. Be sure to catch qualifying and practice is tomorrow, I believe. You'll have that NASCAR IndyCar, not NASCAR IndyCar, just
Nashville IndyCar.
Yeah. Be sure to watch that race. It's going to be fun. Be following Dale on social media. I'm sure he'll have a lot of good stuff for you guys to see as he is there over the weekend. Are you guys having a race party, by the way?
Yeah, we haven't decided where or where. Sundays are interesting because everybody's just going to be so hungover. That's basically how Sunday in Nashville. But we're making the plans right now. I'm trying to decide what we're going to do on that regard. But Saturday we will for sure be out there. We're going to be out there all day for practice and qualifying, just hanging out, trying to bring some new fans into the sport, introduce them to the series. Hopefully we'll have a big crew come with us. So I think we will. And Sunday, we got to go somewhere. I think my friend Guy that I'm staying with told me about a spot somewhere in Broadway that we could go and watch the race. So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a hell of a weekend. And if you want some IndyCar knowledge bets, head over to Dale Center, watch that. And me and Chase will both have betting cards out for the IndyCar race on Sunday, along with everything else that we got going on in the NASCAR world. So I think we have everything that we need to cover below in this description, right? Like every plug is there. You can click every single link, anything you want. You want Hooters, you want Prize Picks, you want Dale, you want Chase, you want Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Should all, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is correct. New slogan: Motorsports to the moon. It starts with the M's.
Love that.
So yeah, Motorsports to the moon. That's what Garage Guys is all about.
It's the new M&M's.
Yeah,
M&M's is leaving, so now we have a new M&M. Yeah,
that's it. Motorsports Moon. All right. So yeah, and speaking of moon, here we go again. If you're in the Hickory area of North Carolina and you are going to be around there and you're looking for something to do, Kyle Larson will be racing on Saturday at, just kidding. That's just Kyle Larson there. Our guy Moonhead is going to be racing at Hickory Speedway this weekend. Kyle Larson may or may not be there. So you didn't hear that from me. But yeah, all of our bets can be found on Action Network for the Cup Series. Follow us for IndyCar Bets. Follow Kyle Larson at Kyle Larson Racing with no G, because he's that guy. All right, so there's Kyle. Here's me. And we'll see you later. Just kidding. There's Dale.
It's the Garage Guys. 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 It's the Garage Guys.